Hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. Thursday, 12th of March today. Welcome back for another market close. Um, it's 1 hour less here in the UK because your clocks on the eastern coast went forward, didn't they? So I've had to come on in slightly earlier. Um, not an issue. Interesting day. We've been down 1% in the US 500, as you can see in the top right corner here, and the US 100 is down 1.2%. I've drawn a couple of things on the screen here already, my post stream analysis. We've got an overall trend line coming from pre-markets, and it's kind of wanting to break out of there. If we get that, if we get a nice push higher, I have actually entered a trade. I probably should put on the screen here on the break of this trend line here on the smaller time frames. But let's go ahead and get that in. It's about there. My stop loss is down below the low of day, which you can see is this line here. After that is the SPY. We go to SPY on the power hour breakout report on Edgepool, which we're already here, never mind. You can see that there is a 12% chance a new low of day is made. So 12% chance it gets down below this line here, with data that has been extracted from the last 6 months, which you can't see. There you go, 6 months just above my head there. But I hope we're okay. Hope we're trading well. Hope you're having a good evening or day, I guess. Makes more sense to say. Before we jump into it completely, obviously make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me on X at SeanTrades_ as always. You can get details for edgepool.com on edgepool.com. Yes, and obviously on YouTube there will be a link down below in the description. Let me just double check that that is the case, because I've done that before. I have said there's a link when there hasn't been a link. Yep, there you go. I haven't put the link there, and I will do that now. But let me know if you want to see any particular stocks this evening. We're going to be going through the Edgepool platform, of course. I'm going to be adding a few stocks to the watch list, because I've got a few using my another trading platform kind of on the side. Just trying to try it out, see what happens. There you go. The link for Edgepool is down in the description now, ready for you to have a look at. Obviously, we'll have extensive usage of that platform this evening, so you can go ahead and see it in action. Obviously, the screen that you see on the stream here is the power hour breakout report. Basically, how it works. If you go back to the Edgepool button here, that's not really a home page. This is the home page, the reports page. You get started by having a look at all the chapters, all of the videos that you can watch and familiarize yourself with the platform. It takes less than 2 hours. I recommend doing it twice. Obviously then you go straight into the reports, and the reports are very simple. Loads of different types. Chart patterns, market open and close strategies. You've got performance and trend tracking. I use the power hour breakout report, and that's because obviously I'm based in the UK, so it's not that easy for me, or it's not easy for me at all really, to do the market opening, because I'm halfway through my day, working, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's jump out of that. We are getting a push into the close as I expected. I would like it to kind of jump a little bit higher. I'm looking for a target of, what have I got on the screen here? I've got this one. Should be green. That should be there. And then my second target is there. Very obviously, with all these resistance points. In fact, it's exactly there. Obviously, part of the data will be, well, part of the risk management really with this trade will be the fact that I like to bring up my stop losses. But obviously that doesn't align with the Edgepool platform. So we go back to the Edgepool platform, we can see that the new low of day made here is a 12% chance. 12% chance it goes back down below this line, as I mentioned a minute ago. However, obviously if I bring up the stop loss up to here, for example, that then invalidates that data. So for now, I'm going to keep it here. My risk is defined. I stand to lose as much as I want to lose. And of course, we'll get a bit of a red candle now. So we'll see how that goes. Closing is there, the end of this particular one here. Obviously, this is a trend line that's been in play pretty much all day for the last 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours it's been in play. So it is a strong trend line, but nevertheless, we do get end of day volume. So that's why we're seeing a bit of nasty price action as we stand. But yeah, okay. I'm a complete beginner. Where do I start? Depends what you're referring to. I imagine trading. Where'd you start? Well, what a question that is. I would start by learning the basics of reading the chart, understanding the buy and the sell, mechanics, and then of course when you want to start actually trading, I would start with a paper trading account just to familiarize yourself with the platform, etc. For sure, that's definitely the best way to do it. And then when you do want to put money into it, you feel confident enough to put some real money onto it. Put a small amount of money on there. This is what I did. And this is what many others do too. And I think that's important to say. That's where you start, in my opinion. Psychology kind of comes down further down the line. But I think it's important to kind of learn the charts and stuff first. Okay, let's head back to the Edgepool platform and have a look at some different. I mean, the SPY and the QQQ will be fairly similar in terms of their percentages. You can see on the screen here. We'll go to QQQ, similar. But then we start diving down into the stocks. The percentages should be lower. So you can see that already, 13, 17. Let's pick another one at random, Microsoft, 15, 15. And then another one here, got Nvidia, 11, 20. So 20 is actually a little bit higher. Whenever I look at this data, I like to look at least like below 20%, because anything higher than 20% chance is 1 in 5. So it's one for every weekday essentially. I want it to be lower than that. New here, welcome Onim 8093. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Welcome to the stream. Got any questions? Obviously leave them in the comments. Likewise, anyone else that's watching as well. Okay, let's move down. AMD. Again, nice and low. And SoFi down here as well. The last example I'll use, there you go, 9, that's actually below 10, so that's really good. Obviously, we're not on the highs today because the market is down red. So let's jump into the charts here. And what we're looking for, essentially, is, I'll clear this up a bit. In fact, no, I won't. I'll get a fresh chart. Amazon. You can see on the screen here, there's a few lines. Vertical, horizontal. This horizontal line is the height of the day that's been set in today's trading session. And likewise with the low. What we want is price action to be near the lows or near the highs of the day at any given point. So unfortunately with this one, it's right in the middle. So we don't want to look at this one. So then we're going to move on to another one. Alibaba. Okay, so it's trading nearish the lows, but not near the lows as much as I would have liked. So we're going to move on. And what we're looking for is trading in the near the highs or the lows going into the last hour, which is what this vertical line stands for. This vertical line is the beginning of power hour. Google once again in the middle. Sorry, my nose is going. Bear with me 1 second. Excuse me. Google has presented a bit of a trend line here, though. That could be broken going into the close, potentially. Anyway, Netflix. again trading in the middle. This is weird actually, 'cause it's been a bit of a red day. I thought they'd be a bit lower down. Nvidia, yep, again in the middle. So we've got the higher of the day here and the lower of the day here, trading in the middle. We don't want that. Here's a good one. So we've got Meta on the 5-minute candle here, trading near the lows. Of course, the lows of the day were set a couple of hours ago now. So what we would do potentially is go to Safari. It's because I've read the bottom bit. Go to our Edgepool platform and then go to Meta. It was Meta, wasn't it? Yeah. We are dropping into the close now, I think. Yeah. Not good for my positions. But something we need to watch out for, of course, going into the close here on the red day. So Meta, we can see there's a 17.7 chance that there's a new low of day made. There's a 17% chance going below this line. But really we want to look for other indicators. So we have a bit of volume here, which looks like it's kind of rejecting off of to the downside. And of course we have our trend line, which looks like again it's kind of breaking the downside. So this would not be a trade I want to take because it's already got two factors that I don't like. If anything, I would have liked it to break out of this trend line. Got multiple touches here, obviously kind of rejected off of that. So yeah, we'll leave that one. But that's the kind of thing we're looking at. We're looking at, yes, okay, it's near the lows, but that's not enough alone to get into a trade, in my opinion. We need to get at least 2, ideally 3 points of confluence. Let's move on to Microsoft. Again, kind of trading in the middle here. Tesla trading near the lows. AMD near the lows, but not near enough. SoFi, okay, this is a good example of something that's already been broken. So before heading into the last hour, which again is this vertical line here, where the lows of the day was set fairly early on in the day. And then of course, once we entered the last hour, they got punched down. So that data was originally showing that there's a 17% chance that SoFi was going to make a new low of day in the last hour, and that 17% chance proved to be correct. Rivian continuing to get beaten up today. Shame because the stock's been doing alright recently. This is a different position. Hood trading near the lows, but not near enough the lows going into the last hour. Palantir, right in the middle there, and we're back to the top. So you can see here SPY looks like it might be setting new lows, which is a real shame because my trade is not going to work. Which is this one here. So it looks like I'm going to be stopped out of here, but that's okay. That's trading. You win some, you lose some. We had a fairly respectful, I mean it hasn't happened yet, but you never know. I had a fairly respectful rejection off of this trend line. It was always a possibility, especially with a strong trend heading into today. Negative trend, of course. But yeah, you win some, you lose some. Going back to the Edgepool platform then. We have these things called templates, which are really handy. So I've got the 1 hour and a 2 hour kind of set. And you could probably guess that's the last hour of trading, and then you can switch it up to the last 2 hours of trading, which of course your percentages will increase because obviously there's more price action in the last two hours than the 1 hour. So I want to actually set another one. I want to change it to 0.5. Let's go ahead and go to 2 hours and go to 0.5, which is obviously the last half an hour of trading. Let that change. Do by weekday, but I'm actually going to do by standard for now. And of course, I think we'll just go back to the SPY for today. And you can see the percentage is obviously even lower. So then if you're looking at trading on the last half an hour, this is something that you would look at, which is what I should probably look at because I don't really come on here until the last half an hour of trading. So save as a new template, which probably should have shown you where that was. Up the top left here, click on the plus, template name, and we're going to go for 0.5. hour in the same vein as the other ones. You can see here, obviously, the report is selected as power hour and the power hour time frame 0.5. Save that, and again, it comes up here on the right side. If you're in a particular report, you can go to this report, custom templates, or you can go all templates and then just tap on the power hour. You've got 1, 2, and 0.5 there. Nice and easy for you. You can basically just switch between 1, 2, 0.5, really nice and easily. Let's have a look at the 0.5. Lots of nice low numbers here. Yeah, they're all below 10%, about 11% there. But we do need to change the chart in respect to that. So there you go, we've got new lows of the day on SPY there. It was always a possibility. I haven't quite been triggered out yet technically, but probably will soon. But yeah, going back to the 0.5 hour, then we need to move this line because this is stuck on the 1 hour time frame. So we need to move this to 0.5. We go to settings. Oh, look at that drop. Power hour here, and we change it to 3:30 because it's the New York time frame. And then change that, and you can see here that line is now moved. That is now done. That's a real shame. I really wanted that to kind of break out of the trend line there. We have another retest here. I was just seeing the damage. Okay, we have a question. This is my first time seeing Edgepool. It actually looks really interesting. Apologies for my not knowing, but what other compliments do you look for? Also, do you actually trade in the last hour of the day? Yes, I do personally trade in the last hour just because it's the only time I can get to trade, essentially. Sometimes I do really early morning on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, but that's very, very rare. Nothing has to be going on pretty much for that to happen. But confluences, that could be multiple things. I'll put it on the screen here. It could be previous day and high. Oh, why is it white? Previous day, high and low. And that could be done with this. One indicator here. So when you sign up for Edgepool, you do get a free bunch of indicators. You tap on indicators up here. And then you've got invite only. Obviously, once you sign up, you put in your TradingView username, and then you get access to all of these indicators. This one I'm talking about is previous day's range. So we'll just turn that on, and you can see that is reflected on the screen up here. Previous day high, middle, low. Obviously, that's not going to be a point of confluence today because that was, we're not nowhere near it. But sometimes it is. Another confluence could be volume profile. Another one could just be support resistance lines. Obviously trend lines. And then probably initial balance lines. So I'll talk through them briefly. Volume profile, you can see on the right side here, this indicator is not an Edgepool indicator, it's just my own, which is VRWP. I'm pretty sure it's a paid indicator, but you can get it on most platforms one way or another. Sometimes you can do anchored volume profiles for the day. I don't know how I'll get that now. Let me have a look. I'm pretty sure not. Got anchored VWAP. Oh, here we are. Anchored volume profile. So it's in this drop down here. And you come down to anchored volume profile. Probably do it from a point of contention up here. And there you go, lots of volume there. Another way you could probably do it. But my particular volume profile is basically whatever you see on the screen. How do I get rid of that? There. Yeah, so the volume profile you see on my screen is basically whatever I zoom out or do whatever. It takes a few seconds and it reloads. You can see as it just did there. So volume profile is really key, in my opinion. It's good for kind of support and resistance. Of course, support and resistance lines themselves. So you would have probably one there because there's multiple touch points across there. Everyone knows what support and resistance line is. Trend lines, you can see one on the screen here. You can see there. It would have been nice if we did get a breakout. You could have entered there and aimed for one of these lines with your stop loss below the lows of the day. That's another way of doing it. And then lastly, you've got IB levels. Turn all this off to clean it up a bit to show you. Might as well actually take that off. Initial balance breakout levels. Here. So initial balance is basically the first hour of trading. This is what this grey box is. And then obviously that populates lines within that box, 50%, 25%, 75%. And then of course you do have another set of lines. Get rid of that comment for now. Another set of lines kind of down below. And that's kind of where it's playing. So you can see actually that's where a bit of support is. Now would be a pretty good time to get in on a certain strategy. I'm not going to buy it or anything like that now, but on a certain strategy, somebody might look at this thinking, oh, it's a good support level there. Obviously coming back down for a retest on the trend line, so maybe that's enough to get into. Personally, it's not enough for me, but you can see where somebody might like that. And of course, not just to the downside, but also to the upside, you have those lines as well. So on certain days, that is the case. But the best part about that is every day is different. So if we scroll to yesterday, you'll see yesterday's lines are actually a lot bigger, just generally. So every day is different. Every day has its kind of own levels, which is, it's pretty cool. Obviously, they're not perfect. They don't always get hit, but generally they do. So you've got this 50% line here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it's been hit, almost 8 there. So yeah, there's definitely a good reason to use that particular indicator on the charts, and it's pretty good to kind of have it on there at all times if you're day trading. Not so much swing trading, of course, but yeah, I hope that helps. You've got these 5 points of confidence to potentially look at. Some people use the VWAP as well. Stick that in there, why not? I would personally use an anchored VWAP, which is also, I think, in this drop down. Yeah, so from the main pivot, you can see the VWAP there got touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So you just know that when it gets through that, comes back down and retests it, that could be a really good entry point for an upside trade. But for now, we are going lower. I wonder how much lower. 1.3 now we're at. We've been down 8%. Fantastic. These are the stocks I'm in. Not a good day for me. Even Neo. Come on. Doing really well earlier. And the beauty about obviously using Edgeful is you can add whatever stocks you want. So you can see on the right side here. Tap plus. It takes you to the watch list playlist section on Edgeful. You can put any ticker in you want. Obviously, this is the futures. You can switch to stock, forex, crypto, whatever. Stock, we're going to add HIMS. Click the plus there. Adds it to this list, and of course down here as well, which you can just about see in the bottom right hand corner. So then what we can do is go very quickly back to Power Hour Breakout Report. Go to the 1 hour chart, 1 hour selection here. and then go all the way down to hymns, and then straight away we have data for hymns. Just like that, really quick, super quick. Okay, let's close out by having a look at US 500. Got a bit of a bounce there. As I say, I mean, it's not the worst time to kind of take that, I don't think. Bit of support there on everything. You always get this mad volatility going into the close. Wonder what tomorrow would be like. Let's see how bad this day actually was on a daily perspective. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all, does it? Straight up projection from not only the zone that I've had drawn for a while now. Let me get rid of that and that and that. But just a straight up projection off the previous trend line. This trend line has been in play since last August. Dropped down below it. God knows where we found that support, but we come back up and retested it almost perfectly and dropped down ever since. So we could be going lower. I think we go down to this sort of level in the next few weeks to a month, which from here is a further 4%, which from all-time highs is 8%. So that's not even a big drop. So there seems to be a delay in my messages, but thanks a lot. I primarily trade pennies, but I trade futures occasionally. I know they're a completely different ball game, but looking to learn. Always a good time to learn. Every day's a learning day. Yeah, look, I mean, so it's only 8% down to there. Beyond that, my next support, so I've got all these lines for a reason. Next support down 12%. That must be weekly related. Yeah, that's basically the highs just before the April drop last year. A minute left of the market open. Rough day for many. I wonder if we get a bit of a push up tomorrow, a bit of a rebound, but as we've just mentioned, just discussed, there's every chance that doesn't happen and we continue lower. However, it has been a pleasure. Once again, you can get the details for Edgepool on edgepool.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be down in the description, as always. And then, of course, you can subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me at SeanTrades_. It's been a pleasure. I'll be back live tomorrow as well, market closing. Again, it'll be half an hour before the market close. It's the only time I can get on to do the streams. But we'd love to do them, and we can try out the 0.5 system tomorrow, so we can see if we can get some more active, quicker trades But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll